want to sit down and go, okay, was there things I was missing?
When Robyn came into the family, we were not a perfect family, but I think people are looking back and trying to pick it apart. And if she saw that we were perfect, then either we were all really good actors or she had blinders on.
I'm starting to wonder if I didn't really know what was happening back then.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. It's Monday, August 21st, 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Kody and the wives are back for season 18 and episode 1 was on last night. This will be a little bit different of a episode. I won't have all the clips to filter into you, but I'm going to give you sort of a high level of what happened on last night's episode. For those of you that refuse to watch the show and just want the tea, here's where you've got it. Now, I have a lot of reactions to what happened on last night's episode, and a lot of it was kind of boring. In fact, the very first part of it was just a rehash of everything that happened last season as though we've forgotten what's happened. And Kody starts the episode off basically reminding everyone that Christine's left the family and he has a very strained relationship with Janelle because Janelle picked his ex-wife, and that, you know, he's struggling with MERI and he's sad and he's angry and it's like, woe is me.
So, I mean, at one point, Garrison, who was very frustrated with how he felt like I was being neglected, called Robyn and said, hey, can we have our dad back? Because he hasn't been around. Kody feels like Robyn's been severely wronged and that my children need to apologize.
I never asked for an apology. I don't want an apology. I want to be able to be okay with these boys, and that was never my intention.
And now with some prompting from Robyn, he's come around to, well, there has to be a conversation.
We're all the way back in November of 2021, so most of us already know what happens. But anyway, they're moving her trailer off the property. There's a lot of going back to last season of them talking about Christmas and the boys and Kody and Garrison and Gabriel's arguments and arguments about COVID and the family falling apart. And Robyn pretending like she doesn't understand why the family isn't going to have the holidays together. Robyn denying that she wants an apology from Gabriel and Garrison, even though that's what was said, and now she's saying, no, I never said that. Robyn denying as though she's done something wrong in this situation, and Kody acting like there's no victims. Something that I noticed in the very first part of this is that, you know, the other wives are kind of sharing like their experience about what happened. Okay, so Janelle's like, yeah, so everything fell apart and Kody just put his head in the sand and he felt like my boys were going to contaminate them. Garrison called his dad and said that, hey, Garrison was frustrated at Kody because I was being neglected, and called Robyn and said, can we have our dad back since you took him? And they want an apology for that. At this point in time, they have a right to feel the way that they want to feel, and the disagreements about COVID are probably having to do with the show, but it's also just ironic again because Kody and Robyn don't vaccinate, and so they could have vaccinated to keep this a lot safer, and they didn't. Everyone else in the family is vaccinated, like Janelle and Christine and their kids. And Garrison was in the military, and, you know, they all had to get vaccinated either for school or for, you know, college or whatever. And so the people that are causing the problems are the ones that are doing the bare minimum, and they just want to keep everyone apart. Like, Kody has sabotaged and created this whole mess, and then he's blaming everyone else. And then he has the audacity to say, like, oh, there are no victims in this family because, oh my God, there's no victims. And then he goes on to say how he's a victim because Janelle isn't supporting him and Janelle doesn't have his back. And he's like, I'm an ogre. You know, he admits that I haven't been the best person, but she should have my back. She's undermining me, but she should have my back. Kody's like, there are no victims, but then he's the victim, right? And Robyn always says there are no victims. And then she's like, oh, the family isn't doing anything together for the holidays. But I can't understand why when everyone knows that she's the one that planted all of these obstacles along with Kody in the way of the family. Whether you agree with what their arguments are about COVID, the fact of the matter is Kody and Robyn are the ones that have put this stuff in the middle of everything, and they can't agree to it. And then they're acting like they don't understand why everyone's mad at them. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's like the first chunk of this entire first episode. It gets a little bit boring because most of us already knew this.
Is me leaving Kody causing any problems? Like, he told me, like, you're breaking up the family and it's your fault. Well, we're splitting.
Kody told me I was breaking up the family. Like, it's my fault that the family's breaking up. If my relationship with my sister wives is up to me, and it's my fault that I have a bad relationship with my sister wives, why isn't it your fault if you have a bad relationship with your children?
After we get through the recap, basically they're over at Janelle's apartment. Christine's in town. They're putting together a bookshelf. They're talking about things and stuff, building, all of those, aspects that have been going on. Christine's back in Utah. She's filming for the first time away from Kody. She's really happy that she's not in Flagstaff. And when her and Janelle get together, they really just sort of hash it out about the status of where things are, which includes Janelle rehashing about what's going on with the boys and Kody, and then Christine wondering whether or not she's to blame for the reasons why the family falls apart, because she says that Kody's blaming her, which is, again, ironic because previously Kody said there were no victims. Everyone had a choice. So if everyone has a choice, Kody, why is she to blame for leaving? And why is she to blame for the family falling apart? Aren't your relationships your responsibility, Kody? I mean, just saying. And that's about, all that happens in that part. Janelle doesn't think that she and Kody can really recover from this because Kody is so estranged from the kids. They don't have a good relationship, and she doesn't know how she can be in a marriage with a man that doesn't have a relationship with his children. And I can't say I blame her. It's really the next part of this episode that I think gets a little bit more interesting, because that's when Robyn comes in with her selective amnesia about their situation with Christine leaving. And I should have prefaced this by saying that the very beginning of the episode, Kody says that the family is in civil war. And it's just so dramatic. It's like, Kody, there are no victims. I'm the victim. It's your fault, not my fault. Brown is the one that created the civil war. So stupid. Robyn and MERI get together, and again, they're outside, which is like so annoying because Robyn just let MERI inside. Just do it. I mean, why are you being so weird? It's 2021. Y'all just had COVID. Let it go. But that's neither here nor there. They're having another discussion about the holidays and about what happened with Christine. And the main sense that I got out of all of this is that Robyn says she's struggling with depression, and MERI is like, I don't even have a relationship with Kody. We're barely friends. He says we're friends, but we never talk. I think friends talk more than this. Robyn is all, I don't know if I can understand what happened in our family, selective amnesia, and being thrown by what happened between Kody and Christine, even though this is like years in the making at this point. I don't know why she's still struggling except for a storyline. They agree that MERI's going to come over for Thanksgiving. MERI makes a joke about turkeys and how Kody likes Robyn's turkeys better. And then she said Kody signed up to like everyone's turkeys. And then she starts laughing hysterically, which was kind of a little bit of levity. Robyn saying that she struggles with depression now because she just doesn't understand what happened to the family. And what did I miss? And how did I miss this? It's like she always plays like she doesn't remember. Remember in the tell-all, Janelle was all like, Robyn has this thing where she pretends like she doesn't remember. That's like the whole situation with MERI and Robyn. I also got the sense that Robyn was sitting with MERI down to manipulate her into telling her that she wasn't the reason why the families blew up, because Janelle and Christine say everything changed when Robyn comes in. Kody says they're all dysfunctional before Robyn comes in, and MERI says they weren't perfect, but they were good before Robyn came in. And Robyn, trying to get around the guilt that she feels about her being part of the reason why the family blew up, because Kody did pick her over the other wives, wants to find a way to pin this on, nope, it was all bad before I came in. I didn't blow up this family. It's not my fault. It's Christine's fault. So she's trying to find a way to blame Christine, and she's trying to go to MERI to get the information from MERI to blame Christine, which is actually really cruddy and slimy and manipulative. And I just don't buy it. I just don't buy their entire conversation. I don't buy their interactions. I don't buy her feigning ignorance. I feel bad that MERI got brought into it because I got the sense that MERI didn't want to be a part of it.
I'm starting to wonder if I didn't really know what was happening back then. Them operating as one family, I saw all these different things going on in the family that seemed very functional. Like, I thought this was a safe place for my kids to be.
The next part of this episode is about Christine and Kody get together. We only see them like sit down. That's about it. Kody says he needs to hate Christine a little bit longer. He doesn't really like her anymore, blah, blah, blah. And Christine is going to do her best to try to be as light as possible because she doesn't know what's going to happen in 10 seconds. She doesn't really want to have to get together with him, but she knows she has to. And that's kind of all you see of that. And then we go back to MERI and Robyn, and it's again Robyn trying to place the blame on things that happened before she was there. And what really seems bizarre to me about all of this is that why does Robyn want to go back to 12 years ago to figure out what happened? It's very clear if you watch the show, the evolution of what happened. There's no way she didn't watch the show and pay attention. She knows that Kody and Christine were struggling. She was live tweeting about these episodes when they were in Galveston, Texas with their therapists. And when, she was at the restaurant when Kody said he didn't want to advocate for a plural marriage anymore, that he didn't know that he believed in plural marriage anymore. She was around when Kody was basically saying that he was exhausted with plural marriage, that he was tired of being a plural husband. I mean, what is she trying to do by going all the way back to the beginning other than to say that it wasn't me that caused the problems? There's no denying that there was a shift and a change when she was added to the family. Do I think it's all her fault? No. There was a lot of things that came into play. Fame, the television show, moving to Vegas, the fake investigation in Utah, the moving again to Flagstaff, all the uprooting of the family, Kody and Robyn spending all of their money, not having enough time. Kody basically spending all of his time with Robyn while they lived in Vegas. The other wives becoming more and more disillusioned by his behavior. Christine becoming very jealous because of Robyn and Robyn's relationship, and Kody spending all his time with Robyn and having to be forced to deal with that on a constant day-to-day basis. And this whole argument or this whole discussion she's having with MERI about, I need to understand what happened then. Why? Because when you were there then, their family wasn't falling apart, Robyn. It didn't happen then, it happened now. The only reason she's going back to then is because she wants to blame other people than herself. Because I think Robyn feels guilty and she doesn't want to feel guilty. And so she's trying to get MERI to give her tea about their marriage, and MERI doesn't take the bait at all, which is amazing. Janelle and Christine are in agreement that things dramatically changed when Robyn joined. MERI's claiming that Robyn had blinders on about how perfect this family was. And Kody's like, well, we were all dysfunctional. We just wanted to work harder at it before Robyn, which basically means that he stopped trying. Just like Janelle said in the very beginning, he stopped trying. He stopped trying to be a good plural husband. He stopped trying because he found Robyn, and he found someone that he didn't have to fight with anymore. He didn't have the baggage with anymore. It was easier. Robyn doing all of these things and bringing MERI into it really bothers me because I don't see MERI inserting herself in this way if it weren't for Robyn needling her and bringing her into the situation, which is, I think, part of the problem with Robyn is she wants to have all of these conversations, but when she does this, she ends up like manipulating people. And it gets worse in the next part of this episode.
People tell me all the time, oh, you're only staying there because you're forced to and you think that you can't go to heaven without it. It's like, you don't know me. And when we decided that we wanted to have a plural family, I didn't make that decision because I thought that was the only way I was going to get to heaven. I made the decision because I loved Kody and I wanted to spend my eternities with him.
MERI responded to some feedback she gets from people, commentators, people that she speaks to, that says that she is only with Kody because it's the only way that she thinks she can get into heaven. And she scoffs at that. But I just wanted to share that part because I wanted to show to you that she actually admits that the reason why she's with Kody is because she wants to get into heaven. in their faith, the only way for a woman to get into heaven is through their husband, and it's only through a husband that has X amount of wives. So she can say that, she said, it wasn't because I wanted to be into heaven, it was because I loved him and wanted to spend my eternities with him. She's just admitting it in a different way. But I just wanted to share that part of it because it was a weird portion of it, because they were talking about how even if they lost their faith, maybe they would still stay together, which some families do and some don't. But it gets, the depths of this conversation gets really weird, because then Robyn starts discussing how Kody's been acting really weird lately, and it's the responsibility of the wives to pick up the slack for him. Except Robyn's asking for MERI to do something that's impossible for MERI to do, because why? Because because MERI and Kody don't have a relationship, and he doesn't care what MERI says.
You guys, if somebody doesn't pick up that torch, then it's gonna go out.
I don't think that he would recognize any support that I was giving to the family or to him.
I watched him like sort of change his tune with someone. Like, he'll be mad at somebody one day and then he changes his tune about what he thinks and what's going on with him. I mean, it's the only thing I feel like is the only way we're gonna be able to, like, you know, pick up the baton for him, as if we're doing it together, the three of us.
This conversation devolves into Robyn trying to manipulate MERI into having conversations with Kody to try to, like, get him back into a state of happiness and to try to bring the family back into a place of, like, equilibrium. The problem is that she's expecting women who have been mistreated by Kody and have been verbally abused, financially abused, and he has basically, like, thrown out of his lives to save her from his bad behavior and to save her from his temper and his issues. And MERI is just, like, listening to her like, yeah, I understand. I can see that, like, Kody isn't very happy right now. He has a perma scowl and he's not the same person I once knew, but we don't have a relationship where he would even take that kind of feedback from him. I think Robyn's, like, frustrated that she now has to carry all the weight because she's the only one getting his negative reactions now. Like, she is getting the brunt of his behavior, his anger, and his hostility, and she wants other people to step in and save her when she wouldn't have done that for them when it was going on with them. She never tried to help at all. She always created division and created animosity. And so now that she's stuck and she's losing what she wanted, she's asking MERI to rescue her by doing something that Kody wouldn't even care to hear because he doesn't like MERI. He's already said, I don't care if she leaves me and marries another. And saying, well, Janelle just needs to, like, get on board and we need to help our husband. Janelle's not going to do that because he won't even do that for her. They're at an impasse. This whole conversation is just like her trying to manipulate MERI back into the fold so MERI won't leave, and give MERI false hope that Kody could change his mind about her if she was just nicer to him, had good conversations with him, communicated better with him. It's all fake. It's all her trying to control and manipulate the situation and try to take the blame off her again. She can't deal with what has happened and what she has caused and contributed to. And she's trying to take that off and deflect it away from her. And you can't do that, Robyn. It just doesn't work. Then we get to Christine and Kody's conversation, which is where he has a hissy fit about COVID.
I feel so betrayed after all that I have done for this marriage, and then to have her sort of talk me to the kids, kind of feel like in my heart, I just never want to see her again. And I want to spend some time hating her.
This last part of the episode, really, I already did a video about it. It's the same conversation where they're talking about Kody basically being a hypochondriac and acting like he was dying from COVID. Christine sort of joking with him about Gwendolyn having a reaction to that and thinking it's just sort of funny. And Kody then having, like, a hysterical reaction about how Christine is mean for him saying that. How dare she say something like that about him? Of course she would think that's funny of him, of Gwendolyn. And Christine just, for the most part, trying to keep things light. And she's joking and he's coming in angry. Like, he's like, I still hate her. And Christine's like, I need to keep things light because I was married to this guy and I never know what's going to happen. And they're still kind of arguing about what's going to happen with Christmas. Christine's not going to go to Robyn's. She's going to spend time, she's going to drop off Isabel and Truly at Kody and Robyn's house, and then she'll go hang out with Janelle. And then Robyn's all like, I can't, I'm so sad, they're not going to spend Christmas with us. Yeah, okay, Robyn. And Kody and, you know, Christine still trying to talk about, I don't even know, like, he's so obsessed about COVID. She forgot that he cared about COVID. Then he's crying about COVID. Then he's like, I haven't been laughing this whole time.
Well, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing here. I'm not laughing. I haven't been laughing with her leaving. I've never been laughing about this thing. She asked me to stop staying at her place. I wasn't laughing then. She moved my stuff into the garage. I wasn't laughing then. She left with Truly and she left early. I wasn't laughing then. I've never been laughing about this.
Christine does get the best line of the night because she says that she was so, her reactions weren't probably appropriate because she was giving him a hard time, but she said, I'm not married to him anymore, and it's so freaking awesome. Like, she knows what a pain in the ass he is now, and she doesn't have to deal with it, and it's like lifted a burden off of her. Really, this whole episode was a whole lot of nothing burger mixed in with like a tiny bit of Kody and Christine having a conversation, mixed in with a lot of Robyn manipulating MERI to try to help her make Kody less of a brute to her and trying to make herself feel like it wasn't her fault. And Kody and Robyn really sort of setting the stage that it's a civil war and everyone is against them and blaming them, but then they're trying to blame everyone but themselves. The truth is that everyone has a role in how this all unraveled, and everyone had played a part. And of course, Christine isn't completely innocent. Of course, Janelle isn't completely innocent. But Kody is the father here. He is the man that claimed to be in control. So he's the one that pushed them all away. And he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to take responsibility for any of it. And honestly, the best part of the whole episode was really Christine saying, like, if it's my fault because my relationships are bad with my sister wives, why isn't it his fault when his relationships are bad with his kids? Why is it my fault? Because it's never Kody's fault. So the civil war is Kody and Robyn against everyone, and they're not going to take responsibility for any of it, and then everyone else has to be blamed for all of it, and they're not going to let that happen. And then Robyn trying to manipulate people to not leave her with Kody because she wants to sit on the porch with her sister wives, with her kids and her grandkids. I don't know. I'm hoping next week I'll be able to figure out how to get the clips together better for you. But if you had any thoughts about this episode, please let me know in the comments below, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Bye, guys.